Hey everyone, it's BeccaG. Thanks for tuning in. You may or may not have seen my TikTok about the National Museum of Funeral History, which is a really cool and unique museum. There was so much to show that it was difficult to fit within 3 minutes, and the shots seemed to fly by quicker than I would have liked. So here is the regular speed version of the National Museum of Funeral History. Come with me to visit the National Museum of Funeral History in Houston, Texas. And no, it's not as gruesome as it sounds. I'm saving best for last and showing my favorite exhibit at the end of this video. Here you can learn about the history of the funeral, how traditions evolved, and different practices around the world. We're going to start here with different kinds of caskets. This one has money embedded in it. And this one can fit 3 people. And did you know this is where the term basket case comes from? Also on display are various hearses through time. This one's a whole funeral bus. I bet you didn't know that existed. It's like a party bus, but for dead people. Post-mortem photography always fascinates me. In the early days of photography, photos were rare. They were expensive and a long process, so photographs were often taken after one died. This chair would have held the head up. And yes, you can take a photo in their wooden chair with headrest. This whole section, starting with paintings, goes through a timeline of how people would capture the image of their loved ones, as cameras improved throughout time. Here are some tin-type photos. There's Abraham Lincoln's casket at his funeral. Can you spot who is alive and who's dead in these photos? Victorians saw a lot of importance in the grieving process. Perhaps Memento Mori and some of their methods would repulse someone in modern day, but this is how people showed their love toward family members that have moved on. Specific attire was worn, there were even mourning cups and spoons. Here we see what a wake would have looked like in one's home. And who doesn't love a Victorian mourning wreath and other items made of human hair? Here's a whole section dedicated to the embalming process. An ice casket. The ancient Egyptians never failed to fascinate me. If there's any culture I associate with embalming, it's the ancient Egyptians. The cremation section creeped me out for some reason. Here are urns of today and urns of the future. This process is moving towards bettering the environment. I enjoyed the wing that detailed the lives and deaths of the popes. They were buried in 3 layers of caskets. And here's a replica of St. John Paul II's tomb. I didn't get to go the last few times I was in Rome, so this was the next best thing. This section showed how different cultures mourned, celebrated, and honored their loved ones. And the different ways are fascinating to see. Can you believe there are actually themed caskets? And then this whole wing is dedicated to famous people and celebrities who have passed on. You could purchase a replica of a famous death certificate. And even famous animals are honored here. The Robin Williams tribute made me tear up a bit. A section honoring the first responders. And here's my favorite section, the Presidents of the United States. Here's the actual hearse that carried the bodies of President Reagan and President Ford. And here's a replica of Abraham Lincoln's funeral. This is what his funeral train would have looked like, though some of us paranormalists know it as his ghost train, which I've actually made a TikTok video about, and other artifacts from Lincoln's funeral. And this is cool, a piece of the gravestone of John F. Kennedy. And you can't forget George Washington. And then unfortunately my phone died, but you can bet I went wild in their gift shop because they had very niche items. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're able to give this place a visit the next time you're in Houston. For more quirky and unique museums, follow me on TikTok or here on YouTube. And thank you for watching. Next week's video will be a recap of the 2022 Mothman Festival. See you there.